first stop this morning. I'm here with Ken at Hudson Valley Seed Company. Yesterday I showed you guys a quick clip of this artwork, which absolutely blew my mind. I just couldn't believe how beautiful these seed packets are. Hands down the most gorgeous seed packet art I've ever seen. So I wanted to grab Ken this morning and let him tell you a little bit about his company and what he's doing here.
So we actually started out as a seed library. I started the first seed library in the country 15 years ago. And over time I was like full-time at the library, and then I was like, I need more time in the seed garden. So I need to work 4 days a week, and I kept going down. And eventually I was 1 day a week at the library, rest of the time with my growing seed farm. And I was like, this is what I want to do. So I quit my job. My partner quit his job, and we turned it into the Hudson Valley Seed Company. But one of the things that's always been really important to me in terms of how I feel about seeds and what I think is important about seeds is thinking about the story and culture of the seeds. And that's partly where I came up with the idea of working with artists, because the artist can tell the story of the seed in a way that a photo really can't.
Absolutely. I'm a storyteller, and that's like actually what I spoke about here yesterday was the stories of heirlooms, because that is just such a passion of mine. And in my garden, sharing all of the heirlooms that I grow with people, I'm always telling them the story behind them. And for me, whenever we take part in passing these stories along, not only are we telling their stories, but we're adding to them. So
absolutely. It's like,
so
what's the next chapter?
Yes,
what's
absolutely.
the next installment? That's your garden.
Yeah.
So you're witnessing that story coming to life as the plant grows, but you also have become part of that story.
So true. That's so good. Yeah. Well, will you tell my viewers real quick, because all of the seed packets are actually original art. So if you'll tell them about this and how they're commissioned.
Sure. So every pack is a different artist, and the way I work is artists apply. And last year 650 artists applied for 11 seed packs.
Wow.
But what I do, I'm like matchmaker. So I look at the art and I think about the varieties, and I wait for that moment where I'm like, oh, this artist needs to meet this plant. They have something in common, and I think they're going to get along. I got to hook them up. And then I tell the artist the story of that seed, and they interpret that story through their artwork. And so then that original work, and I've had collage, stained glass, watercolor, oil, embroidery, fabric arts, mixed media. I'm always interested in quilts, really cool stuff. So after I tell the story, they're interpreting it. So this is a red swan bean, and I don't know if you can see in there, but there's all these jewels in the artwork, and it's because the person who stewarded this bean, Robert Lobitz, one of his quotes that people tell all the time says, "Beans are a poor man's jewels."
Wow.
And so the artist
makes me want to cry. That's really beautiful.
And so there's the beans and the jewels, and this is called red swan bean, so the swan is in it. So the artist is telling the story of a person who's behind stewarding this variety. So on the inside of our pack, and that's how they open up. So you get artwork. I tell the story here that I told the artist, and then there's information about the artist as well, because if you like this person's art, I want you to go to their website and support them as an artist as well. Seeds inside, of course.
Wonderful. That is so cool. So I'm going to link down below so that you guys can check out Hudson Valley, which I'm just so impressed. Thank you so much for what you're just pouring into the gardening community.
Focusing on the story is so important.
You guys are located in upstate New York, and you can order online. All their seed packets are available online. They're out here all the way in California, sharing their love for heirlooms with all of the people here so passionate about this movement.
And you're buying some seeds to try?
Yes, and I am buying, I've got a handful here. I've got Bridge to Paris pepper.
So this is super cool. This was a hybrid. We untangled the genetics to turn it back into an open pollinated variety, so that it could become an heirloom of tomorrow, and people can save seeds from this now. Great Corno de Toro sweet pepper, one of my favorites.
That's wonderful. Emirate pole bean.
French heirloom, thin.
That's what I saw in the bag. It looked in purple blossoms too. It just looked so beautiful. Lemon drop hot pepper.
My all-time favorite hot pepper. It's a different species than the peppers that you're used to. It's Peruvian. Yellow has a great citrusy, bright fruit flavor.
And I've got some multi-hued yarrows.
So that's perennial.
Yes.
And there's different color yarrows, but all with the same herbal properties.
Awesome. These I'm planning on my future cottage garden in my front yard. I definitely want to put these all
For a
through
cottage
there.
garden.
And
Freaking awesome. So most calendulas that you're used to are either orange or maybe yellow
Yes.
orange. This was bred by this amazing plant whisperer, like plant magician, Frank Morton. And so these are all different colors. They're called flashback because they're one color on the inside and a different color on the back of the
Wow.
petal. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful mix.
I do a lot of like potager gardening. My vegetable garden has a lot of, you know, herbals and flowers all throughout it, just for the pollinators and also because I think it's good for my heart to be able to walk through it. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for this to be
Great.
the star of the
Good
garden.
choices.
Thank you so much. Here is another seed stand, Bohemian Seeds. They've got some really interesting sounding varieties here, lots of flowers, some winter and summer squash that I've never heard of. This is pretty cool. Here's their little pamphlet talking about who they are and their seed list. It's just a really small woman operated collective here in Sonoma County. That's really neat. Look at this, all different kinds of irises. The Santa Rosa Iris Society. How neat is that? Baker Creek's little area. Might have to take advantage of their special $2 a pack price and see if I can find anything unusual to throw in my garden next year. Sugar Rush Peach. This was the pepper I was really the most excited about this year, but because of our cruddy conditions starting the year, I didn't get any of these. And I actually used the last of my seeds, so I'm buying this. Yesterday I was talking to Sarah, who is one of the master gardeners for Baker Creek, and she was saying that this big top bitter melon was a really interesting plant, just like a wild edible. Not a wild edible, obviously, it's a domesticated plant, but that it was really interesting. So I'm going to try this one too. I sowed all of my pea seeds in my garden, and we finally got the kid garden ready to sow, but with everything going on with Maya's mom, we didn't actually sow it before we left. And I was out of pea seeds, but not anymore. I'm going to take these home so the kids actually have some peas to put into their garden, since I used all the seeds.
All right. I was so excited.
Runner beans. It's a different kind than what I've grown. These are the ones you like so much whenever they have those pretty blossoms. So some people grow runner beans just as an ornamental because they're so beautiful growing. Their blossoms are pink or red, sometimes kind of salmon colored. They're just absolutely gorgeous.
What you got?
Chinese green Lubo radish. Kind of weird.
Yeah, looks kind of weird.
It says it makes a good pickle. I do like pickled radishes. Seems like a good one to try. Tomatoes. I don't need any of those. This booth has my attention because their collection is massive and their packets are huge. This is the Heirloom Seeds store. They really caught my eye with their packages because they're not in English, and so I thought this is really interesting. There are some varieties I've never heard of before. I have heard of these, and I grabbed some more peas and some things that I had heard of, trying some things that I hadn't. It's kind of interesting. Really large packets, and it's a family-owned business. Someone told me I had to check out Redwood Seeds, that they were an organic, local seed company, so I'm excited to give them a look. I'm standing out here now with Kaylin with Redwood Seeds, and I'd love if you just briefly tell my viewers love what you're doing. I mean, just what you're doing. This is what we're into. We love heirlooms and their stories. We love to grow things that we wouldn't otherwise see. So if you'll tell us about it.
Thank you. Yeah, we are a farm-based seed company. Me, my family, and we grow the seeds that we sell. And I am the chief seed grower, the chief seed harvester, seed cleaner, seed packager, marketer, website designer, all of it. And my kids help me in the garden. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and we just love the work we do. It's important, and we like being outside and having our hands in the ground and bringing seeds to the people.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, I've got a few
Website.
things here. I will put a link to the website down below so you guys can check out this sweet family who is doing so much for the gardening community. And I'm going to bring these home and put them in the garden so you guys will be able to see those grow as well. We just got to downtown Petaluma, California, and we are here at Baker Creek's Seed Bank. It's about 15 minutes away from where the expo is. We're about to go in and check it out. I go too crazy. Here's the eggplant that I saw earlier in the exhibition hall. Now I can get the seeds and grow it myself. Hey, look, it's my old friend. Y'all look at the tomato section. It just keeps going and going. We're gonna do a seed haul video. Maybe tonight we're gonna get back to the hotel. Maybe in the morning, I don't know. Maybe in the car if I feel extra wild. But I've showed a lot of restraint, even with coupons and special deals. But I did get a lot of great seeds. This was really neat. It's like shopping the catalog in real life. They have all the same things in the catalog. I really did recognize that I have a little bit of a problem because I came across one tomato and I was like, this isn't in the catalog, and I turned it over and it's like, proud to introduce new this year, and I was like, I have an issue if I know that this tomato is not in the catalog.
Your picture?
Here, scooch on over here in the picture with me.
Are you ready to set your picture?
I'm ready. Okay, I'm gonna tell them about the seeds, okay, and I'll ask you what you think.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, we're gonna start with the seeds that you guys have already seen from the footage of the expo, which are the Hudson Valleys. And Ben's gonna tell you about these. Now, we already had Ken tell us about them when I bought them. So you guys have seen that, but Ben's gonna tell us about them now. Tell them about these seeds. What do you like about these?
These were, this one can stand up like what when I hold up.
So Ben especially liked these because of their beautiful packages and that they were small. So as soon as I opened my bag of seeds, Ben nabbed these and said these are his seeds. Which he's gonna have to share with Mom because I'm pretty excited about those also.
Yeah, I'm gonna share with Mom also with everybody.
You're gonna share with everybody? That's great. That's a good mindset to have when it comes to seeds. I did get these Franchi seeds from the Heirloom Seeds store. They are out of Half Moon Bay, California. These are actually pretty common Italian seeds, and the packaging is completely not in English at all. But I really enjoy being able to support a small family business. These are the seeds that they use, and they do sell them here in the United States, even though they're Italian seeds. And from what I understand, they're not like anything crazy or unusual in where they're manufactured. However, it was pretty cool to get to buy seeds from somewhere else. I think that's really neat. These particular type of beans are really similar to like a dragon tongue bush bean. They're called Anilino di Trento. And the thing that really impressed me was that for $3.50, this is a really big box of beans. So I'll be able to sell a lot with these, share them.
Yeah, we can share them because we can share them with in lots, but we can share them with everybody that we want.
Yes, we can share them with everybody that we want. That's true. I also got some tromba zucchini, which are really long, obviously serpent type zucchini with a ball on the end. I'm excited about that. This was neat, sprouting a turnip top. That's something that was kind of new to me, so I thought I would give it a shot. These are just telephone pole peas. You will see that I bought a lot of peas.
Those are telephone like that.
These are peas like you love. Whenever I get into the dead of winter and I'm planning my summer garden, then I will make a list and get whatever I feel like I'm lacking at that point. So lots of peas on this trip. These are just some telephone peas. Again, the thing that I was really impressed here was I was getting a lot of seeds for like $3.50. I mean, this is a big pack of seeds.
Yes,
So I figured I'd give them a shot.
Big package.
Unintentionally bought 2 dinosaur kales.
Yeah, because they're big and they're huge.
They're big and huge, that's true. Unintentionally bought 2 packages of dinosaur kale, but that's cool. I'm actually missing a couple packs from Redwood. They're probably in one of my bags or my camera bags. I'll probably be pulling seeds out of bags, you know, for the next week as I unpack everything, or finding them stuck in pockets of my jeans or whatever, because there were a lot of seeds on this trip. But Redwood, I showed you their little company, and I bought 10 packs there, and I've only got 8 here. But I did get a cherry tomato that they highly recommended called Chadwick Cherry. A really neat melon called Bidwell Cassava, which says it's a huge teardrop-shaped fruit that tastes like cantaloupe. I looked and tried to think of melons. Whenever I was buying melon seeds this time, I was kind of keeping in mind what I felt like would either grow really well in our Back to Eden garden out back next year or on trellises, because I really enjoy growing melons on trellises, and I'm kind of trying to keep in mind what my garden is going to be like next year. This is a Desert King watermelon, and the reason why I bought this that I thought was really cool was it says it's resistant to sunburn, and that was something that I dealt with in my garden this year, was my melons got sunburned. One of the things that I got from Redwood Seeds that I was really excited about was this Tokyo Bacana. It's a Brassica rapa, which is obviously a cool season variety, but what she was explaining to me is it's like a Chinese cabbage that's real loose leafed and kind of open headed, so it's not as tight as the other Chinese cabbages that you would normally get. And this was one she highly recommended, so I'm excited. I'm going to go ahead and grow that this year. Obviously it'll do fine going ahead and being started here in Arkansas right now in September. Also got an Ethiopian kale. It's also called karate cabbage, and it has a really good like sweet buttery flavor, that it is a more cabbagey type kale than some other varieties. So I love kale just all around. I've never met a kale that I didn't like, so I was excited to try something new. Tokyo Market salad turnip, and the reason why I grabbed this one is because on the package it said eats like an apple, or you can stir fry her in soup. I don't know what it is. Even when people say they eat onions like apples, I'm just like, yes, give me that. I want to try that. I just want to eat all the things like an apple, and I don't expect it to be anything like an apple, but I'm sure it's delicious. She also recommended this one for fermenting, and I am planning on starting a lot of fermented foods. That's something that I've kind of done a little bit here and there, but I've never gotten into the discipline of really holding a schedule with that. And just with some health things going on with our family right now, I really want fermented foods to be a priority in our diet. So I grabbed that one because I thought that would be a great one to try fermented. I got some more Detroit dark red beet seeds. This is a tried and true variety for me. I've grown those plenty of times before. They're one of the much sweeter and milder beets, and so I just grabbed those because I knew I liked them. And here, Heart of Flame lettuce, which is a romaine type, so I can grow it now into the cooler weather, and it has really red hearts and kind of leafy, frilly outer leaf. So I'm excited to try that one. I have a lot of lettuces and a lot of salad greens, but you know, I'm kind of one of those people, it's like you can never have too many of those. I like to grow a little bit of everything and use them for all sorts of purposes. So those are my Hudson Valley seeds, the Franchi seeds I got from the Heirloom Seed store, and the Redwood seeds I got. And then on to my Baker Creek seeds, which I did buy the most of because I love Baker Creek and because I am so thankful to support them after they just took me out to California. They had really excellent deals, so that's why I ended up with the most of these. First, I have these flamboyant radishes. Now, I actually got these seeds from Mike, the Fit Farmer from Farm Fit, and he helps me get started on microgreens, which that's going to be in a video here in the next couple of days. I told you I have a lot of footage, and trying to sort it out into something relatively manageable is going to be interesting. But I got these seeds from Mike, And I will probably do microgreens with some of these as well as some of the other seeds that I already have. But this radish, I think I'm probably gonna go ahead and sow some of these in my garden too, because I've never seen them before. They're very interesting, long. It looks like a really elongated French breakfast radish, maybe with a little less white. So I just wanna give these a try growing them in the garden, because you know how I feel about radishes. So I'm excited about that. I've got several packages of these. I went ahead and got some more daikon radishes. I'm gonna go ahead and sow those in my garden this season. The bitter melon, you guys saw me find this. I actually saw this whenever I went into the expo hall. They had some of these laid out. Also will be in a video coming up. More arugula. This one's called arugula pronto. It's supposed to be just a really quick variety that comes in real fast, and so that's gonna probably go in the garden today. This is a cabbage. This is actually, I think, the only cabbage that I grabbed. I already have a lot of cabbage seeds, and I may end up doing some microgreens with these. Another cool lettuce, flashy butter oat. Again, I'm really fall minded right now. I'm thinking about what I can plant right now. I probably should have thought a little further ahead until spring, but for me, I already have a lot of seeds. So shopping this time was kind of like, what can I sow right now? And then maybe some interesting things I've never seen before for the spring. I went kind of pea crazy with more. So I got my big thing from the Italian seeds, and then all of these are peas. But again, I realized whenever I was planting my garden just a few weeks ago that I had no pea seeds. And I remembered what happened was in the spring, I actually took my big tote of seeds out to my greenhouse thinking that it was watertight, and set them out there. It rained that day, and one of the vents got flown open and water filled up my seed container. Everything in it was completely sealed except for the peas. And so in the spring, I lost all my pea seeds, and I had just completely forgotten about that until I went to plant this fall. I went and bought some locally, but I really don't like to buy seeds from the big name providers that are available in local stores. For me, if it comes down to have a garden or have no garden, I will buy those things if it's all I can get in time. However, I much prefer buying seeds from companies that are supporting the heirloom movement. So that's why I went ahead and kind of restocked my pea collection. I'm gonna put more in my garden probably today, and then we're gonna sow our kids' garden, or the kids are gonna sow their garden, and we're gonna have lots of peas for that. So I got these Kelvedon Wonder peas, some blue potted garden peas. This I bought specifically for the kids. Alaska peas, some Tom Thumb. My plan for these little guys is to put them in pots in the greenhouse so that we can grow these into it being kind of cold, and hopefully get something off of those. Desiree Dwarf, not even gonna try to say that last word. Well, I'll give it a shot. Bloschakers? Don't know. This is a purple snow pea that I only bought because it had the name Desiree in it, which is one of my good friends, and I thought that was cool. I also bought a Daniel's tomato, but we'll get to that. Mammoth melting sugar peas. These are ones that I've had the best luck with in the past growing peas. I really like the Mammoth melting. It's a good one that climbs. If y'all remember, if you've been here with me, when I was searching for peas to plant in my garden, I could not find any tall trellis peas locally. All I could find was bush varieties. So I did buy multiple ones here that were climbers, because I have a lot of trellises in my garden. And so in seasons like the early spring and the fall, when I'm not growing beans and tomatoes and melons and cucumbers, I am like, what do I put on all these trellises? Because if I don't cover them with something, it just looks like I'm growing trellises. So I'm always looking for things that'll climb. Sugar magnolia tendril peas, the purple ones, my favorite pea. Had to grab some of these for my kids' garden. I've already got a couple of large packs of these growing in my garden for the fall, but I wanted the kids to be able to have those. And then I also grabbed this spring blush tendril pea, which I understand is very similar to the magnolia. It's called a hypertendril plant, which they put off lots of climbing tendrils, but they put off lots of other ones. And so they're just really ornamental. They're just beautiful plants. I really enjoy those. There's my pea haul. I got a lot of those. Another little radish saxa 2. That's supposed to be one that is really fast. And then this Chinese green luobo, which you guys saw the footage of me finding that. I want to pickle that one. It says it's good for pickling. I got some early purple sprouting broccoli. Now, whenever I went to the seed bank, I was at that point, I knew I was really stocked up on greens and lettuces and peas, and that I really could get my mind off of the fall garden because I'm really just out of space with all of this stuff. So I did think a little forward to the spring at that point. I grabbed some Korean red eggplants, some Thai lavender frog egg eggplants. I saw these in the exhibition hall. That'll be in a later video. I'll show you guys those. Mitoyo eggplant. This one is like really black. The stems are really black. I thought that was neat. Parisian pickling cucumber. This is one of my absolute favorite cucumbers. It's growing in my fall garden right now. And I do have seeds saved for it. I went ahead and grabbed another pack, like just in case, because I haven't tested the seeds that I saved this year. So I'm not 100%, they could be crossed, I don't know. But I went ahead and grabbed another package of those. Melon Canoe Creek Colossal Melon. This is the only seed packet this entire weekend that Jeremiah picked up and said, this looks good, let's grow this. I mean, he typically just eats whatever comes out of the garden, no complaints. He has taken a lot of interest in fruit trees and berry bushes. He talked to people this week and got a lot of advice on that. He wants to take over kind of that part of our farm and get that established. But he leaves the gardening choices pretty much entirely up to me. However, whenever he saw this one, he grabbed it and said, have you ever heard of this? And I said, no. And he's like, let's give it a try. And it's a big melon. It gets up to about 20 pounds, but very cantaloupe-like. So that'll be neat. We'll do that one next year. Some of these are the seeds that came in like our speaker bag, which we got some blacktail watermelon, some Connecticut field pumpkins. When you go in the store and buy at the seed bank, or when you buy at the expo, they still throw in your free seeds just like when you order them online. So I ended up with some black and pink vernissage. Actually, these pink vernissage, those might have been in the speaker bag too. I can't remember, but so I got some free tomato seeds. I actually, if I'm being completely honest, I hate these tomatoes. Vernissage tomatoes are my least favorite tomatoes. I just don't like them at all. And partially, I'm not a big salad tomato person. I like pastes, I like cherries, and I like slicers. I don't even fool with growing salad tomatoes. But what I will do with these, I won't start them and sell them because I won't sell anything that I don't like. But I will take these and sow them along the fence lines back where my chickens are, so they'll grow for my chickens to be able to eat. Because I don't want to waste them. They still grow food. It's just not food I want to eat. So I did get some ancient wheat seeds. This was part of the speaker bag that they threw in from the Pure Food Revolution. It was donated by Cabbage International in Baker Creek. So those are kind of neat. I've never grown wheat before, but I'll probably figure out something cool to do with those. Here's Daniel's tomato. I have like 180 varieties of tomato seeds in my collection. So I didn't buy very many tomatoes, and I usually don't unless someone specifically says you've got to try this one. I bought this one to start for Daniel because, you know, I think that's cool. I'm the person that falls for the advertising that Coke has buying with the names on the side of the bottle. I don't even drink soda really, but if I see somebody's name on it, I'll buy it for them because I'm just that, I don't know, consumeristic. Marigold, Gypsy Sunshine Marigold. I didn't buy just a whole lot of flowers because I have a lot of flower seeds already in my collection. But these were really pretty, and I like the kind of teddy bear look of them. And I also got a couple of pansies because I think I can still start these and get them going in my garden before it gets cold. I got some black ones. My kids, I had my kids in mind when I bought those. I thought they would think that was really cool. And then some really pretty purple ones. I did grab some Sugar Rush Peach peppers. I told you guys about those. And some Painted Laney runner beans. And that's it. I feel like a pretty modest haul for being at a seed expo. We did have to go ahead and buy another bag because we didn't have enough room in our luggage between this and the different like goodies we got as speakers, like water bottles and some really cool different things from the sponsors of the expo. And I also did get several different seed packets from viewers, like a Paul Robeson tomato and just a couple different tomatoes and peppers, some Israel melons from my new friend Amanda. It was just really cool. So you guys blew my mind. I had a viewer stop me that brought me orange marmalade and a book, and just so many of you that came up and loved on us and welcomed us to California that I got to sit and get to know. It was just really incredible. So this is my seed haul. I've showed it to you now, so I can now get in my garden, which I am desperate to do. I've been home since 11 last night, and I didn't think that it would be reasonable to go out there in the middle of the night. So I got up, loved on my babies, drank my coffee, showed you my seeds, and now it's time for me to get in the garden. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will have more videos of the expo up over the next couple of days, and also the garden tour that I shot right before we left for the expo. I'm going to show you guys that because the next garden tour is going to surprise you. There are some things that have grown massively since I left for California 6 days ago. Thank you guys. I bless you. Until next time.